Hey, everybody. Thanks for joining. And today, the first breaking news is that Charlie's disability insurance lawsuit has settled. So it is confidential. So we're not going to be able to find out what exactly happened here. I personally hope that he did not get a single penny from this so called settlement. I'm hoping that they agreed to drop the case, maybe in exchange for the insurance company agreeing not to go after him for fraud or some sort of criminal type of case. Well, he's already been convicted and sentenced to life in prison anyway. So let's just hope that this litigious person, this convicted criminal, is not going to get a single penny from the insurance company because, in my opinion, he doesn't deserve a thing. So, goodbye to this lawsuit. He sued Berkshire Life Insurance back in December 2020, claiming that he had suffered a big drop in income because of some back problems, which he claimed stemmed from sitting weird in a taxi cab in the Philippines back in 2016. Of course, people who have really been following this case, you probably heard from the Matsuri wiretap that Charlie told his father at the restaurant that he actually hurt his back when some girl in Vietnam walked on his back. So who knows what really happened, but it does seem like he had some sort of scheme going on to try to get disability benefits to be able to sit back and collect the checks instead of working. Okay, so let's take this off the screen. So, Charlie Adelson news. Nothing really earth-shattering here, but let me try to bring what I can on the screen. And let's see, this is thanks to True Lifestyles, Susan. And it does have tons of people's phone numbers on it. So just to make sure YouTube doesn't take down the video, I'm not going to show all the pages that have people's phone numbers. But I did do some sleuthing myself to figure out who these people are. And so let's see here. How do I do this so I don't show the phone numbers? I'll probably just show the first page or two then. Okay. All right. So again, thank you, True Lifestyles, for sharing this with me. Please be sure to support her channel. Okay, so I'll just tell you what I see. This was the first page, which doesn't have anything too exciting on that. Yeah, it's going to be hard to make sure I don't show confidential. Well, it's not really confidential because this is public record, but I still think it's better not to show people's phone numbers. So the most dialed phone number was to his father, Harvey, his cell phone. And it looks, most of the time, looks like Harvey was called many, many times, but a lot of times he also did not answer the phone. So it looks like poor Charlie had this habit of sometimes starting bright and early where he would just start calling everybody. And we know that he loves talking on the phone. So these records were in reverse chronological order. So let's see, for example, nothing too earth-shattering here. He likes calling Harvey. He likes calling Bree, who is the mother of his son. But again, lots of those phone calls were not accepted. If anyone cares, he also called some, I'm assuming, a dental school friend of his who is male, a periodontist in Austin, Texas. He called him a few times. I can't tell from this how long the phone calls were. So it's kind of interesting because I looked up this old friend and he actually sort of looks like Charlie too, except this guy is probably living his best life. So he's not in prison for murder. So Charlie called that friend a couple of times on February 5th. It was not accepted, but then he did call him some other days. Not accepted. I'm pretty sure I saw at least one phone call that looks like he did talk to that friend, but I'm not sure exactly where it is. Just as True Lifestyle said, it doesn't appear that Charlie is getting phone calls from Janice, who is his, should we say latex? No, last ex-girlfriend before he was arrested. Perhaps Janice heard news that people following the case have figured out who she is, and maybe she's just sick and tired of him, and she knows he's not getting out of prison. So time for her to move on. Maybe she did find a place to live or got to take those TVs from the house. Okay, so Valentine's Day, first at 8:31, he called Bree, not accepted. 8:33, called again, not accepted. 9:23, it says time up. So I'm not sure what that means. Maybe there was some sort of time limit. Then he must have done something else in jail. So later that day, around 3 p.m., he called Harvey, his dad, and it says inmate hung up. So I guess he did have a real call. Then he called, let's see, it was a 305 number. Interesting. So he calls that female friend, the one who said she loved him, or she just said love ya. Okay, even though she has a boyfriend. So interesting that he called that female friend twice on Valentine's Day around 4:30, not accepted. Okay, good for you for that female friend not accepting his calls on Valentine's Day. Wonder if she was an ex. Okay, then it says he called Harvey in the afternoon, called Bree again, and called Bree again at around 9:42. It says CP hung up. So I'm not sure what that means. Does that mean the person he called hung up later? It also says later on Valentine's Day, he called his father. It says pin limit and inmate hung up. So that was 2 calls to Harvey after 10 p.m. And I don't know what that means, pin limit. Okay, so instead of going through every single day, it's kind of boring. Poor Charlie, he has to keep calling people to entertain himself. I'll just tell you some of the other people that he called, which are his old friend Sully, the guy who had the environmentally friendly car repair place, his friend Clinton, who was also his realtor at first for Tortugas Lane, which has sold ultimately with a different realtor. And it's funny because I looked up this friend Clinton, and he has actually a pretty funny Instagram page, and he likes to say a lot of motivational sayings, where he just puts up a meme or puts up some text. And some of the nice little quotes he has are, quote, "I'm impressed by the way you treat other human beings." So he says something about how he's not impressed by people's wealth or what they look like, but he's impressed by the way you treat other human beings. Then he also has a quote that says, "Why is it so hard for people to tell the truth?" Why doesn't he say that to Charlie? Okay. And he also says something like, "Stop leaving out the part of the story where you effed up." So it actually says the curse word. Okay. So I wonder, has he ever said that to his good friend Charlie, who's still calling him from prison? Stop leaving out the part of the story where you effed up. Okay. So some of these little inspirational quotes are things that you kind of wish good old Clinton would say to his buddy Charles. But I'm still surprised that Charlie has these friends. He also reached out and called his old roommate, Jerry, and mentor lawyer, and I read his deposition about a year and a half ago. So it's kind of weird because I thought he had lost most of his friends or had a falling out with some of these people. But maybe he's so desperate he thinks that these people will still talk to him given his predicament. Maybe somebody will feel sorry for him. So let's see. Voice is going, can't keep talking. So let's look at these. This is kind of boring, but for those of us who are totally into the case, I figure why not just put something out there real quick. Okay, so let's show you guys. Okay, so this part I can show. You see his same old mugshot, and says that he's at Columbia Annex, and this is where we find out that Harvey visited him 3 times. Okay, so the first one was when he was at Wakulla, February 17th. Then he came for 2 days in a row, March 2nd and March 3rd. So I wonder if maybe Wendi helped drive him, or did Harvey actually drive himself all the way up to Columbia Annex, which is, I think it's going towards, is it near Gainesville or Jacksonville? Somewhere east of Tallahassee, from what I recall. So it's still quite a long ways from Miami. So when he visited the first time, Charlie was seen by Harvey for almost 3 hours. Then the next visit was about 2 hours, 40 minutes. The last visit, the last couple of visits were for maybe more than 2.5 hours. Okay, so this is the nitty-gritty daily record of special housing. Look at that nice little smiley face here in the corner. So this is from December, where it says initial placement date, December 14th. So this is when he was still in Wakulla. Okay, so for every meal here in January, he took his meals. He did not refuse them. Looks like he skipped lunch or something. Wasn't marked for lunch one day, but he's still eating. This I don't really understand because it's hard to read the handwriting. What does this mean? Weekly review, maybe? AC pending PN? Okay, so I have no idea what that means. Feel free to let me know what that could be. so this is more stuff about his food. In January, he received his meals. He's not on a hunger strike. Looks like he gets cell surge, laundry, haircut or shave, and a shower every other day. Okay, and it says here, again, not sure what this means. Weekly review or RW. What does that say? PDG, PM, TRX. Okay, I have no idea what that could be. Okay, they do have some codes down here, but I don't think it matches up to what you see in the handwriting. Okay, this is reverse chronological order. Okay, January, he's still eating. He's still having a shower every other day. Okay, weekly RW, ACPDG, whatever. I can't read that. Is it PIU, TRX? Something to do with treatment, maybe? I have no idea. Okay, this is pretty much the same thing from December, early January. He was still eating all his food. Okay, so no hunger strike. What is this? Weekly bounds penned? PNTRX. Okay. Weekly rounds, maybe pending. Okay, not sure what that means. This is around Christmas time, December. Yep, he was still eating. He was still showering every other day. Okay, again, this, I can't figure it out. It says December 28th, KTPN PN hearing recommendation. Is that when they decided what prison he was going to? I don't know. CLO rounds, weekly something review, maybe. AC pending PN, I don't know, review. Then it says ICT, same stuff. Okay, so this is kind of humiliating, I'm sure, for someone like Charlie who was used to being in charge. But these are all the confinement rules. So I'll just kind of enlarge that. Okay, he has to come to the cell door, get his food tray at meal times. You're not permitted to discuss the meal with the orderly. All issues will be addressed to the officer supervising the feeding. Okay, interesting. Okay, they're very, very strict and regimented about how you get your food tray. Okay, mattresses, sheets, pillows, blankets are to remain on the bunk at all times. Can't disrupt the state property or else you'll have disciplinary action. Okay, no writing, no scratching, no carving the walls, bunks, floors, ceilings. Don't attach anything to the bunk wall. You have to be quiet and orderly. You have to shower and shave on your designated day. No smoking, no lighters. Okay, can't pass items to inmates. No homemade ropes. Oh, that makes sense. Oh, look at this. You have to sit upright on the bunk facing forward during all formal counts except midnight count, early morning count. Wow. That seems pretty onerous. Sick call process. You have to clean your cell, make your bunk each morning by 5:30. Cell inspection at least one per shift. Okay, your hands are to be by your side and feet together, not leaning on the wall. You have to be quiet and sitting, no yelling, no tubes of toothpaste. Okay, so they get 3 packets a week on each night that they get showers. Okay, interesting. Oh, poor former dentist. Now he does not get tubes of toothpaste. Okay, there you can see Charlie's big, looks like an angry scribble there on December 14th. Okay, this is his cell inspection. Cell cleanup. Okay, so I wonder, maybe this is not the place that had blood and feces on the wall, or urine. Okay, so I think that's about it. Let me take this off the screen in case it has some phone numbers or something on it. Let's see. Let's see here. Okay, the next page is just like a totally black page. And the next one here has some stuff blacked out, but I think this should be okay to show on the screen. So you guys can feel free to read it yourself. Okay, so I just find it sort of interesting here. This is from December 14th, but it says, due to the youthful offender status, inmate Adelson's continued placement in general population could pose a threat to his safety. So since when is he a youthful offender? I mean, isn't he 47 years old? So anyway, so it sounded like they had to put him in some sort of special place because he was deemed to need special protection. Okay, so that could also be why he recently got transferred to Colombia as opposed to Wakulla, which was supposed to be his sort of forever home. So, okay, so what else is going on with this case? Not much, but luckily Ruth Markel is willing to be interviewed by me again. So hopefully I'll have a decent voice in a few days to talk with her and put it up on YouTube as soon as possible. And we do have a case management hearing for Donna, but that's not until July 22nd. So what are we going to do to fill the time until then? That's why I did some wacky things, some comedic videos, which some people thoroughly enjoyed, but as usual, a few people were very offended, possibly people who didn't understand the jokes and references, or they don't think this comedy is appropriate. So, but you can't please everybody. I do have to figure out what kind of content to put out to continue to make this channel active, based on my physical and medical limitations and the fact that I'm still trying to run a law practice too. So thanks for your support of this channel. Hope you guys will tune in later this week for the Ruth Markel interview. Thanks for watching.